hello, and welcome to another stream from Wake Vortex. You find us in a terminal building somewhere in Southeast Asia, where we have a very angry man who's been pacing up and down quite some time. We have an angry lady over there. She's fed up because she's bought the same shirt as the girl who's sitting down in front of us. So there's carnage in the terminal, frankly. We are in Victor Papa Quebec, which is Phu Quoc Airport, a very small airport on an island just to the south of Thailand. It's a Vietnamese island, but it's literally just to the south of Thailand, and it's a place I've been quite recently, so I thought I'd do a nice flight today with Thai Air Asia back to Bangkok, Don Muang, the kind of low-cost airline airfield. There's two in Bangkok. There's Suvarnabhumi Airport, the big airport, and then Don Muang, which used to be the main airport, but they now use it mainly for low-cost carriers. So that's where we're going tonight. So let's get out of this terminal before it all starts to kick off, I think, because they're all looking somewhat menacing now. So there's our aircraft waiting for us to get on board. Beautiful aircraft in the amazing Thailand livery. This is the Dominic design team, Phu Quoc scenery, by the way, for anyone that is interested. And there's our Airbus A320 Thai Air Asia. Flight 84 Victor, which will be taking us back to Don Muang Airport this evening. So let's get inside the cockpit and have a look around. Now, one of the things we're doing tonight is, for the first time in one of my broadcasts, I'm going to be using the must-have application of the moment, which is called Beyond ATC. You must have been living under a rock if you haven't heard of this. Let me start to get things boarding so we can talk a little bit more about what's going on in the cockpit. So let's start with Phoenix. Import the sim brief plan. Yeah, it tells us we're way early, so that's because we've changed the time a little bit here. So let's wind that back. That hopefully will fix it. Yeah, there we go. Minus 100 minutes, bit more. Done. Minus 40 minutes. That looks good. So the aircraft will now start to board. And we're using Flight Sim First Officer. For those who haven't seen that, I've done an explanation of all this stuff on my previous video. You might like to watch that so you can kind of work out what's going on here. Quite a lot of stuff is going on. So yeah, check that out so you can see what Flight Sim First Officer is, and indeed all this stuff in the cockpit that I'm using. There's quite a few programs that you may be very familiar with, but there may be some that you're not too familiar with. So hopefully I've explained it all in that previous video, so have a little look at that, and it should explain all. So let's get the cockpit prep flow going.
Starting pre-flight flow.
Lovely. So the first officer will get things like power onto the aircraft and start doing the normal flow that we do. Meanwhile, GSX is doing its stuff outside. Fuel trucks arrived. Things are getting connected, which is good. So here's our flight route tonight. Phu Quoc, which I mentioned is a small island just to the south of Thailand. Here's the flight plan in sim brief panel down here. So leaving runway 28, the Numdi 1 Charlie, then to the Send 1 Bravo into Don Muang 3 left, an air time of 53 minutes tonight to Don Muang in Bangkok. Okay, so she's getting on with her stuff here. We're going to have a look over here just to make sure we've imported the flight plan into sim brief, so that's all done. There it is, Phu Quoc, the small island I mentioned. And if we just kind of zoom out a bit, that's Cambodia. There's the capital, Phnom Penh. There is Vietnam, the green border there of Vietnam, and Phu Quoc is just inside the Vietnamese border. Just across there is Cambodia. Right across there, that's the kind of border line between the two countries. And if you go a little bit further north, you'll see that Thailand is then very close, and we're going up the coast here, passing Trat, and in, as usual, in Bangkok, over the sea, and then into Don Muang, which is just to the north of the city. Our approach tonight into Dom Mang is going to be a 3 left, so let's put that in. There's 3 left, ILS Yankee 3 left with a transition of final, so we'll add that one in. We'll also add in the ground charts while we're here at Dom Wang, so we know where we're going once we get there. So let's have a look at the Dom Wang charts, taxi, and it used to be the main airfield in Bangkok, and it was a lovely old place to go. A golf course in the middle of the 2 runways. Can you believe it? I never understood the sanity of that decision. There must have been an occasion. I'm certainly in my golfing days, I would certainly have hit a ball wildly enough to veer off onto the runway, but don't know if I think the golf course is still there, but whether it's active, I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be still there, but as you say, only in Thailand. God bless them. I love the country. Okay, let's zoom back in then to Phu Quoc. There we go. It's a very simple airfield, 1 runway, 1028. We're at the one and only terminal there. It's a very small place, Phu Quoc, but rather beautiful if you want to go and visit it. When you do, go on the cable car, which has set the world record for, I believe it's the highest, it's either the highest cable car in the world or the longest cable car in the world, or a combination of both of those 2 things, but it's quite extraordinary, I have to tell you. Meanwhile, okay, she's just done the APU, and now doing the init A page over here. She'll fill in all that stuff. Again, for more information on this, watch my last video which explains what's going on in here. What else do we need to do? This is open Kneeboard, so we can start looking now at this program, which is Beyond ATC, which is artificial AI. That's an acronym which is going to plague us for the rest of our lives, and it's pretty good. It's in early access at the moment, and there's a few problems with it, but it's pretty good on the whole. So let's first of all tune in the ground frequency here in, it says Duong Dong at the top. It's that's the kind of main town in Phu Quoc. So let's tune in ground. They don't have a clearance delivery, so 121.92. 121.92. So there's no ATIS here. As I said, it's a very small airport in the real world, so that's not surprising. They've not modelled this particularly brilliantly. 121.925. That should now tune. There we go, and we're going to request our clearance as our passengers begin to board. Getting dark here. It's going to be an almost nighttime flight by the time we get going. That's our first officer. Let's just do that. She's going to do the walk around now outside the aircraft. So what she wants us to do is to do the SID and stars. Let's fill that in. And that's on the flight plan page. Phu Quoc, we're going off 28 on a Numdi 1 Charlie. So departure 28 Numdi 1 Charlie. Insert. Lovely. And then into Dom Wang, 3 left in a Sane 1 Bravo. VTBD, arrival 3 left, ILS Yankee. And let's have a look here. Sane 1 Bravo, there it is. Insert. See if there's any obvious discontinuities. There is one there, in fact. So let's try and clear that out. Yep, there we go. Insert. That looks good. That's done. We'll do our init page B in just a moment once the passengers are all on board and we get the go ahead to do that. 103 passengers tonight. They've boarded. We'll just wait for the baggage to be finished, which it looks like they have. They're going to close up the doors so we can get away nice and early. That's very good. So let's get our clearance from Phu Quoc ground. And the accents are absolutely brilliant. This is using the premium voices, by the way. Those who've looked into the Beyond ATC will know that there are free voices, which you don't pay for, and premium voices, which you get so many of, and then you have to pay more for them. But when I'm testing, I'm using the premium voices. So 121.92, we're connected, and we want clearance to Bangkok, so let's go for it. Phu Quoc ground, hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor, request IFR clearance to Bangkok.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Phu Quoc ground, expect runway 28, number 1 Charlie departure, squawk 2710.
Okay. 28 departure, num 1 Charlie and the squawk 2710 for Thai Asia 84 Victor. Hopefully he's happy with that.
84 Victor, read back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Wilco, Thai 84 Victor. Okay, that's all done. So we have our clearance. It's a num 1 Charlie, which is what we planned. The squawk is 2710, so let's go down and put that in the transponder. 2710. And meanwhile, everybody's on board, which is very, very helpful. So let's go to here, send to MCDU. That should send our zero fuel weight and our zero fuel weight center of gravity. Has it done it? Let's go again here. Success. There we go. 53.8, 33.2. Our block field is 5.6 tons. And let's just have a little look here at the flight plan. Yeah, 5.65 tons, so that's absolutely correct. So lovely, all good. And now let's go to the departure page. Phu Quoc runway 28, flap config 1 plus F. We don't need to force toga. We'll sync the load sheet, we'll sync the live weather, and we'll calculate the V speeds and put them in the MCDU. So they should have gone to the perf page now. There they are, 124, 135, 135. One of the things that FSFO doesn't do, well, it does it, but in VR, I'm using Open Kneeboard here to see what's going on. And in Open Kneeboard, I can't type stuff into it for various technical reasons. So what I'm basically going to do is fill in those V speeds manually now in 2D, which you won't see, but I can actually nip out of my headset here very briefly. So we've got what do we have here? We had 124, 135, 135. So I'll just put those in. The Varia Aero, which I'm using, has a very nice feature where you can see the desktop and as if you were in 2D effectively, which is rather brilliant. It's not a pass-through as such, but it's not far off it. Okay, so that's all set. Our first officer is currently walking around the aircraft. She's going to be there for another 215 seconds, so let's bring her back in. Hopefully she'll tell us the aircraft is fine. That's the theory.
Walk around completed.
Okay, well, she's not going to tell us the aircraft is fine, but I'm sure it is. Otherwise she would have told us. Okay, let's move on. We've got our clearance. We've set up the MCDU, as they call it in Airbus world. She's going to carry on now with the rest of her cockpit prep flow, and then we can start our before start flow. So I think I can probably we can start to call the pushback agent, which of course is GSX, and they can get themselves going. I use Fenix A GSX, which again I explained in the last video.
Checked. Passenger signs. On. IOU. Nav. Barrow reference.
There goes the jetway.
1010. Checked. FMGS. Z. Briefing. Completed. Cockpit prep checklist complete.
Very good. Now here comes our pushback crew. Very good. So she'll do the before start flow while they prepare us for the pushback. I guess we're going to push back facing, what runway are we on? 28. So we're going to push back facing to the east, I would think. Let's find out by talking to Beyond ATC.
Checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Before start checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Takeoff speed, V1, 1, 2, 4, VR, 1, 3, 5, V2, 1, 3, 5.
Very good.
Checked.
Doors.
Closed.
Beacon lights.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Great, so let's call for push. Phu Quoc ground, Thai Asia 84 Victor, request push and start.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Phu Quoc ground, pushback approved. Face east.
Pushback approved, face east, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Very good. So let's see if GSX is ready for us to do that. No, it's not. That's one of the irritants in VR with GSX. It doesn't pop up to request the pushback direction. I've reported that as a request to the developer, but no reply as such on that. So you basically got to guess when they're ready to push you. There we go, facing east. Now it's popped up, facing east.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay, so parking brake released. We'll start the engines.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay,
Starting engines.
our first officer will go ahead and start the engines for us.
Starting engine 2.
There she goes. And back we come. As we push away from Phu Quoc International Airport for our short flight to Bangkok Don Muang. Should turn the tail left. Wonder how many miles those pushback crews walk in a day. Must be quite a lot, I would think. Maybe they should get a sponsor and raise money for charity.
Engine 2 started.
Usual airlines here, Vietnam, Vietjet Air, we can see there. Quite a busy airfield. There's actually, when I arrived there, there was, oddly, a flight by Lot Air, the Polish national airline, who seemed to fly there during the peak periods a couple of times a week, which I was very surprised about. And that was direct from somewhere like Warsaw. Very odd indeed. So the Poles obviously like Phu Quoc. It's all looking good. I think we're all set up here. We'll just check. Yeah, init pages are filled in.
Please set parking
Engine
brakes.
1 started.
Parking brake is set.
Unlocking gear.
We're going to up our cost index a little bit here. 50. Slightly faster flight. Let's wait for the pushback crew to disconnect. So a very short taxi. It'll be probably Alpha 1 Sierra, I would think.
Engine stable.
Amazing, isn't it? This simulator world that we now live in. When I first started a million years ago, it was
Truck disconnected. Bypass
very different. Okay, so she's doing the after start flow. Pushback crew finished. There's a little weirdness there where if she starts the after start flow, for some reason GSX
Completed.
disconnects very fast and runs into the distance, so we'll just gloss over that for the moment.
After start checklist. Anti-ice.
Set.
Don't need it.
Status.
Checked.
Checked. Trim.
After start checklist complete.
Init page B. No, it's trim is on the perf page, down 0.7. So it's about there. And we're ready for taxi, so let's call for taxi. Phu Quoc ground, Thai Asia 84 Victor, request taxi.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, runway 28 taxi via Alpha 1, Sierra, Sierra 2.
Runway 28 taxi via Alpha 1, Sierra and Sierra 2, Asia 84 Victor. Right, so Alpha 1, Sierra and Sierra 2 is exactly what we expected. So let's now move on to our taxi flow.
Taxi flow. Clear on the right.
Clear on the left.
Let's turn on the Thai Air Asia cabin announcements, which I'd forgotten to turn up here.
Taxi checklist. Flight control test. Down. Neutral.
Get rid of her while we're doing the flight control check. If you'll notice here, we've got the flight control page up and we're running through the flight control check.
Up. Neutral. Full left. Neutral. Full right. Rudder full right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Rudder full
in a
left.
short while,
Checked.
the cabin
Brake
light will
test.
be dimmed. If you
Brake
wish
test,
to
let's get moving.
switch on the relay.
Parking brake released.
Thank you.
Do our brake test.
Checked.
Flaps.
Set.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Radar and PWS. Engine mode.
Set.
Ecam memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Taxi check.
Well, there is a blue to be fair. We have the cabin still to check, but I'm sure it'll arrive in a moment. So, here we are. Taxi out. To the end, Alpha 1, right turn onto Sierra. Kamikaze bus. Oh, handbrake turn, very good, very impressive. Pacific Airlines, Vietjet Air, all low-cost carriers. Vietjet pretty good actually, flown on them quite a few times. There's the cabin.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you very much. Okay, back to VHF 1 as we continue our taxi. Alpha 1 right turn onto Sierra. I'm assuming we'll get a handoff to tower at some point as we approach Sierra 2, which was our clearance limit.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, contact Phu Quoc Tower 118.6.
There it is, 118.6. That will auto-tune. Contact tower 118.6, Thai Asia 84 Victor. There goes the tuning. Those little noises you can turn off, by the way. I'm just new to this program, so I'm leaving them on for now. Thai Asia 84 Victor, hello, request departure.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Phu Quoc Tower, wind calm, runway 28, cleared for takeoff.
Flow completed.
Clear takeoff, runway 28, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Oh, we're clear.
Line up
are...
checklist. Takeoff runway 28.
Confirm.
TCAS.
Set.
Pax.
Set.
Cabin crew. Cabin
Clear
crew
to the right.
prepare for takeoff.
Notified.
Line up checklist complete.
All set to go.
Runway 28.
So it's pretty much a straight ahead departure and a right turn. Flaps are set, spoilers armed, landing lights are on, and our departure, Numdi departure has us arriving eventually at 8,000. So let's go. Flex.
Flex. SRS.
Thrust set.
Here we got SRS runway auto thrust blue. Slight forward pressure. Holding the centre line.
Check.
100 knots check.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate. 15 degrees.
Positive rate.
Pitch.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Pitch up. Follow the flight director. But don't chase it. There we go. It's a bit easier to see, isn't it? 15 degrees. And our next call will be acceleration altitude.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, contact Ho Chi Minh radar 120.1.
Ho Chi Minh radar 120.1, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Acceleration altitude.
There we go.
Acceleration flow.
Climb thrust is set.
Pilot.
Autopilot.
Autopilot's coming on.
Flow completed.
Thrust climb nav. We're at flap retraction speed.
Flaps 1.
We're now with Ho Chi Minh radar. Ho Chi Minh radar, hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor, just passing 2,500 feet.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Ho Chi Minh radar. Radar contact, climb to flight level 180.
Flight level 180, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Up to flight level 180. Check the restrictions here. Yeah, we've got an 8,000. That's going to stop at 8,000, isn't it? So we'll go into open climb, thereby passing the restriction by at 8,000. Look at that constraint, there it is at Numdi. We're in open climb, we should ignore that restriction. Climbing nicely, we're cleaned up, everyone's happy. Cabin announcement going on.
เวลาขณะนั่งประจำที่ครับขอเรียนให้ท่านทราบว่าทุกเที่ยวบินของสายการบินแอร์เอเชียเป็นเที่ยวบินปลอดบุหรี่กรุณางดสูบบุหรี่รวมทั้งบุหรี่ไฟฟ้า
Wonderful, isn't it, what you can have in an aircraft that's simulated these days. I think this particular set of voices was a flight from India to Don Mueang.
For your safety, we suggest that you fasten your seatbelt whenever you are seated. Please be reminded that all AirAsia flights are non-smoking flights. Smoking is forbidden anywhere on the aircraft, including the toilets and the aisles. All forms of smoking, including e-cigarettes in the toilet, will trigger an alarm and may result in a fine. Thank you.
You don't want that. Passing 10,000 feet, our co-pilot should have just turned the landing lights off, which she has. Seatbelts come off, done that as well, and transition should come up any moment. There we are, heading towards the Cambodian border, the green line. Transition is 9,000 actually, so for some reason we've not called the transition yet. might be incorrect in Flight Sim First Officer. I'm going to do that myself. Hopefully we'll get a further climb in a moment.
Thai Asia 84 Victor.
There we go.
Contact Phnom Penh radar 123.8.
Phnom Penh radar on 123.8. Thai Asia 84 Victor. Phnom Penh radar, hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor with you, passing flight level 140.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Phnom Penh radar identified.
Good. So we're in Cambodia airspace now, Phnom Penh being the capital of Cambodia.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, climb to flight level 360.
Climb to flight level 260, Thai Asia 84 Victor. So 260 is set, and we can now go into
climb to flight level 360.
Managed climb.
flight level 360, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Thank you.
My pleasure. Enjoy your flight.
That's very funny. What a brilliant program. And this is just in early access at the moment. Such a promising piece of AI. Quite brilliant. That's very funny. Okay, so we're going to let the aircraft climb out now. Not much more talking needed from me. And we'll get back to you shortly. Back with you now. I'm passing flight level 230 for our cruiser flight level 360. Well on the way now. This, by the way, is minimized VATSIM radio. We're not on VATSIM tonight, so I'm not using it. But it's a brilliant piece of kit. Again, have a look at this in my previous video, and you'll see this explained in a bit more detail. And must have if you fly on the VATSIM network. Absolute must have. So we'll talk about that in another stream where we're actually using it in VATSIM. But look at the last video and it gives you a kind of brief introduction to it. We can start putting our performance in, I think, for the arrival, which it will ask us for shortly. So let's go to the perf page. Next phase, next phase. There's the approach, and let's get the latest weather, which will be in here. My flights. Arrival. Let's refresh the METAR. Dumwang, 220 degrees, 6 knots. 220 degrees at 6. Temperature is a balmy 31, QNH 1011. 31 1011. So a quick look at the rest of the weather. Few at 2000 CBs, not ideal. So a bit of thunder in the Bangkok area, not unusual of course for those that know Bangkok well. But few at 2000 CBs could be entertaining. Okay, let's have a look at our minimums here for the localizer Yankee approach, runway 3 left, which is our expected approach this evening. So Beyond ATC may give us a different one. So 3 left, ILS, decision altitude is 220, so we can put that into the Barrow section here, 220. That's done. So our arrival tonight, let's have a look at it. We have planned here for the Cessna 1 Bravo. So let's have a look. Cessna 1 Bravo, there it is there. So we're coming in here via Rayong. This leg here to Cessna, Bamboo, Armus, and then in. So So that's our route in tonight. Rayong, Sena, Bamboo. That should be confirmed here. Yep, Rayong, Sena, Bamboo, and then in for our 3 left arrival. There's the other airfield in Bangkok, Bangkok Suvarnabhumi there, which is the new international airport. This is the old international airport, which is still international but now used for low-cost carriers mainly. So the Sena 1 Bravo arrival, speed maximum 250 below 10 unless otherwise authorised. That's all good. It's all good. Beautiful sky tonight, as there so often is in Southeast Asia. Lovely. Appear to have no cabin lighting for some reason, I don't know why, but there we are. A lot of stars, bit of a crescent moon. Let's let the aircraft progress on its merry way. And we're finished with that page now. Just flick between a few things here. That's our arrivals PDF that we can just write on, as you saw me do with the departures. That's our Chrome browser, which we can bring into the cockpit, along with the original flight plan there. Little nav map, which I quite like. It's a nice bit of kit. Always like to see little nav map in the cockpit. A few points of interest that we go over. Not seeing many other aircraft around this evening, but there we are. Kampot. Those who've been to this region of the world be familiar with all of this stuff. Kampot, famous for black pepper, bizarrely. So we're going up now the coast of Thailand. There's the coast there. We'll kind of follow it up to Rayong here, and the infamous town of Pattaya, much mispronounced by most people who call it Pattaya, which is very irritating to me, and I'm sure to the Thais as well. And then in over the sea to VTBD, Don Muang, Bangkok. That's our route tonight. So that's our little nav map version of it. Quite sure I'm not seeing the AI aircraft. Should be seeing them. Strange. What else do we have here? Auto FPS, nice little program, does its job in VR beautifully. Targeting 30 FPS here, we're achieving 31. It's whacked up the terrain level of detail to 250 there, as you can see. The object level of detail to 150. And that will target that speed of 30 FPS and adjust these accordingly to maintain that target VR FPS. FS2020 Auto FPS, good little program. Works obviously not only in VR but in 2D as well. So that's quite useful to look after your frames. So that's that. Sky Dolly, that's for recording. X-Pilot we don't use tonight because we are not on VATSIM. Flight Sim First Officer, Beyond ATC, and back to our PDF page. So you'll see we've got 3 Kneeboards in here. We've got this PDF one, we've got Beyond ATC, and we've got FSFO. All of that is being handled by the brilliant Open Kneeboard program, which is completely and utterly indispensable as far as I'm concerned. It's free, which is extraordinary. You can get your best out of it by buying yourself a cheap tablet with a pen. Oh,
Contact Bangkok radar 132.1. Bye bye.
Very nice of her. Bangkok radar 132.1. Thai Asia 84 Victor. 132.1.
Negative. Bangkok radar on 132.1.
Bangkok radar on 132.1. Thai Asia 84 Victor. Happy now? Early access program, so it's occasional. I think it gets confused, in my opinion, if you run the call sign into the message quickly. So 132.1 Thai Asia 84 Victor. I think it confuses it. So leaving a gap seems to help. I could be wrong, but they're putting out so many updates for it. It's rather brilliant. So we're in 132.1. Let's talk to Bangkok radar. Bangkok radar. Hello, Sawadee Cap. Thai Asia 84 Victor with you. Flight level 310.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Bangkok radar, radar contact.
Very good. That's a recent update. That didn't used to say radar contact. So that's just been changed in the last couple of days. Very good. Yes, Open Kneeboard, an absolute must-have. Get the Wacom tablet, which is quite cheap. I've got a Wacom Intuos, INTUOS tablet. Again, you can see a picture of that on my last video. It's not expensive for what it does. It's about 70-ish UK pounds, and you get a pen with it. And that's the magic of Open Kneeboard, that with that pen, as you can see here, I can write on the tablet. I can erase on the tablet. And that for me is just absolutely brilliant. You can use that tablet as a mouse to interact with the programs as well. So let me just explain what I mean by that. So if you go to the Chrome browser here, if I hover my pen over the tablet, you'll see a little dot comes up here. That then makes it into a mouse. So I can then press that, and there we are. I've gone to my weather maps tab on my Chrome browser. Totally brilliant piece of kit. But the tablet makes it come alive. You can use the pen as a mouse, which is a huge, huge bonus. Let's have a look where we are in the world. One little nav map. Yep, progressing up the coast of Thailand, Rayong in the distance, and the city of Pattaya. Bit of weather. This is real world, real time weather. Bit of weather to the north of Bangkok. Bit of weather to the south of Bangkok, actually, which hopefully won't cause us any trouble. Let's start to think about our arrival here. Let's have a look at what we've got. So in we come. When we get to the airfield, parking stands always an issue. Big old airfield, this one. The parking stands are fairly straight laid out, so not too much taxi grief, as opposed to the new Bangkok airport, Suvarnabhumi, which is just like a city. They just added a whole new satellite to Suvarnabhumi airport. Bangkok takes so much traffic in. Quite extraordinary. But this is the old Don Mueang airport, and it was in the middle here. That's where the grass used to be, and well, still is, with a golf course. Extraordinary, right in the middle there. Let me just bring this one up here. That's the airport map there, and right in between those runways is a golf course. First time I flew into Bangkok, I thought I was actually hallucinating, that there were people playing golf as we landed, then taxied across. If you're a golfer and a plane spotter, what a great place to go and play golf. Absolutely amazing. So that's where we're landing tonight anyway. So we're coming in on 3 left, which is here. So it's going to be a very easy taxi just into the terminal here. 2 terminals, I think. They may just, yeah, it's an international and a domestic. There we are, just next to each other there. There used to be a bridge, a kind of air bridge linking the two, like a walkway. Don't know if that's still there. So, waiting to join this arrival here at Rayong. That's where we'll pop up onto the map. 46 miles to go to Rayong. For those that are interested in VR, it's not the easiest thing in the world to conquer initially, but once you get it sorted, it's, well, you can't go back. I certainly could never go back to flying in 2D now. It would be just wrong. So, yeah, once you crack it, it's an amazing thing to have. Need a decent PC for it, and a lot of good new VR headsets are coming out, which is a bit of a bonus. If you're looking to get into VR, the Quest 3 is a pretty good one to get into. There's about to be a new Pimax Crystal Light headset, which is looking to place itself where the HP Reverb G2 once held the crown. They've stopped making that now, so there's a lot of entry choices coming along. And in the high end, you've got the Somnium VR1, which is coming out soon, which looks like it's going to be amazing. I personally use a Vario Aero. I've used it since it came out. They've kind of seemed to have abandoned that and just kind of disappeared without trace. They've now got the Vario XR4, which is very expensive, but they seem to have kind of abandoned the Vario Aero somewhat. A lot of people are very disappointed about that. But here we go. Let's not get political. Now that call approaching top of descent. That's because our flight sim first officer thinks that we're 18 miles from top of descent. The green. You look at the green bits at the bottom there. Distance to go 122. Top of descent 17. It's not really the top of descent, but it's not far off it. But they're calculating a straight line distance and not taking into account the SID and the star particularly. But it's quite a good early warning that, you know, your top of descent ain't that far away. In fact, our top of descent is 44 miles away. There it is there.
Fenix A320 Victor, Saint 1 Bravo, runway 03 left. Report ready for descent.
Saint 1 Bravo, runway 03 left, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Saint 1 Bravo, runway 03 left. Verify ready for descent.
Well, I'm not actually, but we could take it early. Thai Asia 84 Victor, ready for descent.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Managed climb.
Okay, so descending slightly early. That didn't really give me the option there. It said report ready for descent, and then said verify ready for descent. So that's something they need to look into. I wasn't quite ready for descent, but we'll take it. We'll take it early. There we go. The bright lights of Pattaya, I would guess. Yeah, absolutely. The bright lights of Pattaya down there. For those familiar with that part of the world, it's interesting. I'm not going to say much more than that. It's interesting. It's not the place to go if you're looking for beauty. Although, it has its moments. Right, enough said. I think some AI is coming into the picture now. I'm using my pen here on the pad, on the tablet, to zoom in. Do a little nav map. There we go. Zooming in, and I can move the map around by using the pen again. Airport to our left there, Utapao, which is, I think, an old military airfield. They use that for flights now. Nearest one to Pattaya. And here's our approach now, as we approach the huge metropolis of Bangkok. That's Suvarnabhumi Airport there, and Don Muang to the northwest. So we've got a restriction there of 220 Sana, and let's have a look. Bamboo 150. We'll start our descent flow. Auto brakes, EFIS, ND filter and landing system. That's turning on the ILS buttons here. Very slow descent, 1,000 feet per minute. As we started the descent early, we're usually going to make flight level 220 by Sana. Pitching down. Capture the profile. Need some more drag. I'm sure it'll sort itself out. Okay, bit of speed brake help there. There is the sprawling metropolis of Bangkok. What an extraordinary part of the world. If you've not been there, make it your mission in life to go if you can. My favourite parts of the world, I have to say. Okay, left turn at Sena. Here we are on the map.
84 Victor, contact Bangkok radar 120.5. Have a good evening.
120.5. Thank you. Thai Asia 84 Victor.
You're very welcome.
Very polite, the Thais. That's very, very polite indeed. Okay, we're now on Bangkok radar. Bangkok radar, hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor, flight level 220.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Bangkok radar contact.
Good. Radar contact. Some reason on Navigraph, I don't know why, the symbol is very small there. I've tried adjusting all this stuff in the settings, but very, very small. I don't know why. See it there? That's us there. And it gets smaller the more you zoom in, which is a bit weird. Anyway, Sena to Bamboo, descending to our assigned altitude of flight level 170. So realistic. I don't know why we don't have cabin lights. Must be a Fenix version 2 thing, I would think. We need some further descent. Hopefully he'll let us have it. Going to level off here at 170. Yep, here we come at a level off. It's not ideal. Let's see what Beyond ATC makes of that. It's slowing now to meet that restriction of 250 knots at Bamboo, but we're at the wrong altitude currently. Well, let's see what happens. Engines are idle, trying to get down to 250 knots. It is a work in progress, Beyond ATC. It's in early access mode, and they're making a lot of updates to it on a almost daily basis, to be fair, so fair play to them. Somebody I read, I think yesterday, that there's only 4 people working on it, which is scary and impressive in equal measure.
Thai Asia 84
Yeah.
Victor, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1011.
4,000 feet, 1011, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Very good. So let's do that. 4,000 feet, and we'll go VS down. Let's go 1,000 feet a minute down. And 1011. Now, for those who've not watched my previous videos, I'm turning these knobs physically with a controller called a Behringer X Touch Mini, I should say, and I have 2 of them. So it's rotary controls and buttons, and I can assign all of it to things in the cockpit. So for example, if you watch the altitude here, I'm physically turning a knob, and that's altering it. I know we now have particular things that are tied to the Airbus, which are replicas, but in VR I can't see them anyway, so it makes no difference at all. The Behringer has been a godsend for me. I use it in X-Plane, I use it in FS2020, and you can assign them to each individual aircraft using a program called Axis and O's. There is another program that does it as well, but I use Axis and O's. We're 4,000 feet. Let's increase the rate of descent to about 1,500 feet a minute. So we have another aircraft just behind us here. Entering some very busy airspace now. We're just here. Yep, 4,000, that's the altitude he's given us, which is clever. That's Dotley, that's the altitude there. Flight plan, Dotley. We could activate the approach phase here. That would allow us to start slowing down. We're over the sea now, turning north. There we are in our mini magenta aircraft, approaching Armus to turn north. We're here, keeping well out of the way of Suvarnabhumi. You'll notice there, they route it round Suvarnabhumi.
Asia 84 Victor, contact Bangkok approach 133.4.
Bangkok approach 133.4, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Bangkok approach, hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor, flight level 120.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, verify information Charlie.
Affirm information Charlie, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Naughty, I didn't get the ATIS.
Thai Asia 84 Victor Bangkok approach, QNH 1011, expect the ILS Zulu runway, 03 left with the Dotley transition.
Expect the ILS 03 left with the Dotley transition, QNH 1011, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Very good. You'll notice here it tells us all this in writing, so you can read it back if you're a bit not confident about it. So landing runway 03 left, Dotley transition explains it all there for you, so absolutely brilliant. Looking good. You're supposed to get the ATIS, of course. I was very naughty there, I didn't get the ATIS and she told me off, and rightly so.
Checked.
There we go, so our co-pilot there has reset the transition altitude. We'd already done that, to be fair. What she's saying, 1011 actually. There's a discrepancy there.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Landing lights coming on.
Ladies and gentlemen, in about 30 minutes from now, we will be landing at our destination. If you wish
Less than
to
that.
use the lavatories before landing, you may do so at this time before the seatbelt sign is on. Thank
Going to come on the managed speed.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, cleared direct dot line, cross dot lane at or above 4,000 feet. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 03 left.
ท่านสามารถใช้ได้ในช่วงเวลานี้จนกว่าสัญญาณแจ้งรัดเข็มขัดที่นั่ง
We crossed Dotley at or above 4,000, clear the ILS Zulu 03 left, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Pilot speaking.
Okay, so we're direct Dotley, descending to 4,000. We've activated the approach. Have a look at our ILS here. The ILS Zulu, did she say? I think she said Zulu. ILS Zulu. Approach. There we go. Yep. 220 is the minimum. We've got that. Wow, look at that. Incredible. Pretty similar, I think. Just a different missed approach, I would think.
All aircraft be advised information Delta now current. QNH1011.
QNH1011. I think we need to start getting down. We're going to activate the approach phase here with our checklist.
Approach checklist. Briefing.
Completed.
Barrow reference.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
On.
Minimums. 2, 0, 0.
Checked.
Auto brakes.
Z.
Engine mode.
Z.
Approach checklist complete.
We're high at the moment. I'm going to stick the spoilers out. Speed brakes. Try and get this aircraft down a bit faster. We'll arm the localizer. There's the glide starting to come back up now. Still high. We'll take the first stage of flap.
Flaps 1.
Still high. Coming back now on the glide. Going to slow the aircraft down. 180 knots. Yep, very good. Glide's coming in now. We can arm the approach.
Managed climb. Approach mode on.
1900. 1100 in fact is the intercept path there. It's very low, isn't it?
Thai Asia 84 Victor, contact on Myang Tower 118.1. Bye bye.
Tower 118.1. Thank you, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Okay. Go gear down. All happening very fast now.
Gear down.
Manage speed.
Flaps 2.
Tower hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, Don Muyang Tower, wind 240 at 7, runway 03 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land 03 left, Thai Asia 84 Victor. Very good.
Landing checklist. Barrow reference. 1011.
Checked.
Go around altitude.
Z.
Cabin crew. Cabin crew prepare for landing.
Notified.
ECAM memo. Speed brake armed. Flaps 3. Landing checklist.
1000.
That all happened a bit fast. Do hope the aircraft isn't coming in our runway from the other direction. That's good. We're fine. So we're going to vacate to the left. Yep, it does look like he's coming in the other direction. This could be carnage. Flaps full. Speed brakes armed. Landing gears down. We're good. Disconnect the autopilot. FSLTL has a different view of the runway in terms of which one is current.
Watch the airspeed.
Cheeky first officer.
100 above.
Oh, this could be entertaining.
Minimum.
Okay.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Spoilers. Diesel.
Very good.
Manual braking.
Let's try and get off here.
Initiating after landing checks.
Oh, there they are. That'll make the news.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, exit left at Foxtrot.
Exit left at Foxtrot, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Flow completed.
Dear guests, we have just landed at Don Mueang International Airport, Bangkok, Thailand. The local time
After
now is
landing
a quarter
checklist.
to 4
Radar and
a.m., which is
PWS.
1 hour and 30 minutes
After landing
ahead
checklist
of
complete.
Indian local time. For your safety, please remain seated.
Foxtrot straight ahead.
And fasten your seatbelt. This soft mobile phone is allowed to the fasten seatbelt signs off. Do take care of opening
Thai
your
Asia
overhead
84 Victor,
compartments
contact
and
ground
before leaving the
122 decimal
aircraft.
5.
Please check that you have all your personal
Ground 122.5, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
Captain, first officer, and cabin crew would like to thank you very much for traveling with us today.
Ground hello, Thai Asia 84 Victor at Foxtrot.
Welcoming you again soon. If you need any assistance,
Aircraft calling, I didn't get that.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, request taxi to gate.
The local time now is a quarter past 4.
Thai Asia 84 Victor, welcome to Bangkok Airport. Safe parking or advisors need assignment.
Thank you for flying with Asia.
Any gate, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
ท่านผู้มีเกียรติค่ะเราได้นำท่านมาถึงท่าอากาศยาน
Thai
ดอนเมือง
Asia
กรุงเทพมหานครประเทศไทย
Victor
เป็นที่เรียบร้อยแล้ว
Gate
ค่ะ
5 taxi via
เวลาที่
Foxtrot
ถึงขณะ
Hotel.
นี้เป็นเวลา
Bravo!
ประมาณ 4:15 นาทีค่ะ
Bravo! She's very excited.
ชั่วโมงกับอีก 30 นาทีเพื่อความปลอดภัย
Gate 56 via Foxtrot Hotel and Bravo, Thai Asia 84 Victor.
จับลงและเครื่องบินจอดสนิทโปรดใช้ความระมัดระวังขณะเปิดที่เก็บสัมภาระโนชิซะ
Okay, gate 56 is there.
มาถึงอาคารผู้โดยสารสำหรับวันนี้ขอขอบพระคุณและส
There
วั
we
ส
go.
ดีค่ะ
56. We're at Foxtrot and we've been told to taxi via Hotel and Bravo. So, there is our taxi route. Okay, it's easy enough. Landing rate 193 feet per minute. Not that I'm obsessed with this kind of thing, but I know people take bets on it. Golf, Charlie. Golf, we're going to turn left. Not sure we can make hotel from here, to be fair. Let's go here. There's Bravo. That's taxiway Bravo. We couldn't have made hotel from there, that's too tight a turn. So all the way along till Kilo. Three. India. Kilo is next. We better tell GSX where we're going. GSX. We're stand 56. There it is. Free the parking from AI in case someone's cheekily parked in front of us. Oh, they're nicely labelled on the sides there. There we go, look. 45. Ours is on the other side of this terminal. Lot of AirAsia aircraft here. There's 56. There's a little man waiting for us. I hope you enjoyed it. VR's an interesting thing to do, to record and stream. But I think with the help of these programs that I've shown you, you'll see that it is possible to do. It's quite a different experience, has to be said. Any questions, by all means leave them on YouTube and I'll do my best to answer them for you. This 56? A bit vague. Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yep, there's our man. Truck is somewhat in the way, but there we are. He's not giving us a lot of guidance at the moment. Oh, there we go. Turn right. And that'll do us there. Parking brake is set. Now we're running our parking checklist and flows. Engines will go off in a moment. That's our first officer doing that. And that will trigger the GSX, or Fenix to GSX to be more precise. There we go, bridge coming in.
Flow completed.
Great, thank you for watching. Appreciate you joining me, and we'll see you again next time.
Parking brake.
Take care.
Set.
Engine.